Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Just a quick follow-up on the video I made earlier today regarding ERROL Spence and how whatever has been the problem with ERROL, if anything, neurologically, weight making and so on, we shouldn't be taking anything away from Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford, an incredible fighter, magnificent performance against ERROL. And of course, you can only fight what's in the ring. If the point of the video was that if ERROL suffered any neurological damage due to the car crashes, two of them, especially the first one with the Ferrari, if he struggled to make weight once too often and it took something out of him, none of this is Bud's fault. He deserves absolute credit for his performance. Well, I'm going to leave a link in the comments section or maybe the description box of this video, because over at fighthype.com there was an interview with Tim Bradley, and he got quite sort of animated. He was sitting in his car doing this interview, and they were asking him about ERROL, and he said, look, he emphasized the point that ERROL or perhaps PBC and Al Haymon tried to, as he put it, age out Terence. Crawford, of course, is nearly 36. ERROL is 33. So the implication is he thought they were going to wait until Terence got old, and then he'd be there for the picking, and it backfired on him. Now, I think that's a really good point, and I think that's a trick that PBC kind of made. I mean, it really goes back to the Mayweather era, doesn't it? When Al Haymon was Mayweather's right-hand man, and Mayweather, of course, made an absolute ton of money, but Mayweather was extremely careful at who he picked when, and some he didn't pick at all, but the timing had to be right. Everything had to be weighted in his corner. And Tyson Fury does this as well, except that people don't believe Tyson Fury, or they kind of overlooked Mayweather, because Mayweather had a very, very big legacy anyway, kind of before he started doing this, really. I mean, with Mayweather, you can divide his career into two sections. The pretty boy Floyd, who was that, killer at feather, super feather, maybe lightweight, super feather, was it super feather he started at, wasn't it? So lightweight, maybe light welterweight, he was an absolute killer. And then you had the money Mayweather, who was the far more cautious, I'm slowing down a bit so I need to readjust, but he'd already beaten a lot of guys, and he'd already racked up pretty much a Hall of Fame career before he started to be a little bit more cautious, should we say, maybe a lot more cautious in who he picked and when he fought them. Well, ERROL, even though he's had a very good career, and if he didn't throw another punch tomorrow, I mean, he'd be remembered as an extremely good welterweight. He is a very, very good fighter. But this PBC thing with, waiting and kind of trying to boil people down, maybe put miles on their clocks, wait, it clearly did. I think Tim Bradley is absolutely right. It clearly did backfire on Spence and PBC. Because, I mean, let's be honest, Crawford looked like he was 26, not 36, or nearly 36 in there. He looked like he was 25, 26, 27, 28, that sort of age. And that's what happens if you look after your body. And ERROL has not looked after his body. He likes to drink. There's been rumours about him having a little bit of puff, and, the weight making. I think trying to make 147 has been a struggle for a long time. I'm not telling you anything you don't know there. And I definitely think that putting on weight between fights wasn't good. He's probably bored himself down one too many times. It just takes something out of you. It really does. I mean, you can wreck your body doing that. It doesn't matter. And he might come back at 154 and the damage is already done. You know what I mean? But go and have a listen to this interview with Tim Bradley. It's very, very good. It's only about, I think, 8.5 minutes long, something like that. But it's well worth looking at, because he sums it up perfect, and he also talks about ERROL and the possible damage that there is to him, and how he should speak to his children, and listen to them. Do they want him to fight on? He's got family. How much money do you need? Bradley was saying, look, he should say, look, we've got everything we need. I've got everything I need. I've had a great career. I've made millions and millions of dollars. you know, let me sit down now and enjoy the rest of my life. And a lot of people are urging Errol to do that, but of course he's his own man. He's got mental capacity, so he can make his own decisions, and you know, he's going to do what he's going to do. He's a grown man. He's a grown man. I guess we have to respect that, whether we agree with it or not. But Tim Bradley also said, look, you know, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter if it was 4 years ago, Crawford would have beaten you. It doesn't matter if it was 154, Crawford would have beaten you. He's been saying that Crawford is the man for a long time, as Tim Bradley. Of course, these are hypotheticals. If he fought 3 or 4 years ago, would Crawford have beaten Spence? I would say probably, but at the same time, Spence would have probably had, you know, before the 2 car accidents and the detached retina and so on and so forth, he would have certainly been in a better position to give Crawford at least more of an argument. He would certainly have, you know, retained his physical strength and maybe a bit more balance and so on. But yeah, as I say, it's all hypotheticals. But have a look at this Tim Bradley interview. Like I say, I'll put the link in the description box, and tell me what you think. As always, thanks for your time. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the subscribe button. That does us a big favour by doing that. And then like the video. If you like the video, hit the like button. So yeah, looking forward to seeing your comments, and bye for now.